What's up, BookTube? Today I want to talk about characters, strong characters, compelling characters. These are the characters that you love to love, or the characters that you love to hate. Whether it's love or it's hate, they elicit a strong response from you, and typically that's a response that's going to help you to really want to figure out how is this character going to play out over the course of a novel. Is this character going to go through the trials and tribulations that are going to test this character's character, if you will, and see how they turn out. You know, do they sink or do they swim under the pressure that the novelist, the writer, the author is going to put them through over the course of a given book. Now, when I think of some compelling characters that I've had a chance to read over the years, I can think of so many, and I could literally rattle off a long list of compelling characters, interesting characters, characters that I love to hate, and characters that I love to love. But when I really think of where it all started for me, and this is going back to my younger years, so this is more than 20 years ago. Actually, more than 25 years ago, to be maybe a little bit more precise without really grossly giving away my age. Not that the gray in my beard doesn't already do that. So what I want to talk about is a book that I have discussed previously on this channel that is a book that I really enjoy, is a book that really inspired me to not only want to read more books, but also to get into writing because of the subject matter of this particular book. And many of you who do know me know that I am a big sports fan, okay? Not necessarily an obsessed sports fan, but yes, a sports fan, for sure. Part of my sports fandom includes the work that I do as a radio and TV voice. So you can always tune in and listen to me if you want to. That's providing that we have sports in the fall and winter. But being a sports fan and also being a fan of writing and also being a fan of reading, all of these things converged in one very special book for me. And that is, of course, One-on-One by Tabitha King. Now, this happens to be my original copy of this book. I actually have two copies of this book, and you can see the little notes that I have in here. And this, by the way, this book, I've had this book for, I would say, probably at least 25 years. And so it's definitely been through the wars. It's been through many moves that I've made from apartment to apartment to apartment to house. And so this is a very special book to me, and part of it is because of a very special character that I'm going to tell you a little bit about in this story. And the point of all this is to show how a compelling character can make all the difference in a book, because you want to find out not only where they are and where they're potentially going to go, but what's the backstory of that character? What makes this character so intriguing that you want to find out what they're all about? And then when you find out a certain amount about this character, then you have a better understanding of why they're going to get where they're going to get by the end of the particular story. So when I think of the book One-on-One, I'll read a little bit of the inside cover. Actually, I'm probably going to read the whole inside cover. So, a small town school in western Maine, Milltown Greens Park, has a single claim to fame: its high school basketball team. A hero on the court, senior Sam Stiles has led Greens Park Academy to 3 consecutive state championships. He has become an off-court mover and shaker as well, and he sends a shockwave through the school's hierarchy when he decides that capping his own high school career with a 4th victory will not be enough. He wants the girls' team to win one, too. Standing between the girls and that state trophy is the person who is also their best hope of gaining it, a sophomore known as the Mutant, aka Deanie Gauthier. She is attitude incarnate, a quicksilver playmaker on the court and a defiant pariah off it, as disliked as Sam is popular. If the girls are going to go all the way, Sam realizes he will have to straighten her out. Saving Deanie from herself is no easy task, however. Behind the wild, tough girl, Sam discovers an unexpected soulmate, and he isn't prepared for the volatile, disturbing relationship that ignites between them and cuts radically through the grain of Greens Park's tradition. He wants to take her team to the championship. He wants to take her, or I should say, she wants to take him where he's never been before. They both get more than what they bargained for. Deanie must surrender the secrets shielded by her mutant facade, and Sam must take on their burden. It is an exchange that will transform their lives. I got hung up a little bit because apparently part of my cover was torn. I did not realize that. So that's why I stumbled a little bit in reading. But I think as you learn a little bit more about Deanie Gauthier, and then of course you have the contrast with Sam Styles, and so you get the opposites attract, like the old Paula Abdul song from back in the day. Look it up on YouTube. I think seeing that contrast in personalities is always helpful. But as I read the inside cover, I knew that I wanted to know more about Deanie Gauthier and her experience, and you definitely find out quite a bit about that over the course of this book. And so it really got me hooked because she is so very different. And again, with the contrast with Sam Styles, it just made for an intriguing book, and I was absolutely hooked and gripped. And once I started reading, I could not put it down. And you can see it took me a little extra time because I tabbed the hell out of this book as I was reading it. And again, that's something that, for me at least, compelling characters can make all the difference in the world, as I really strive to find books that are going to hook me. And for me, it comes down to characters. And characters that not necessarily I can relate to, not necessarily that I like, but that I find really interesting, that I want to know more about, even if I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like the character by the end, or if I know I'm going to love the character by the end. Those two aspects are not as important as a compelling character. Let me know if you feel the same way about compelling characters and how they may make a difference for you as you're picking the books that you read and as you're surveying the books that you've read and the ones that you enjoyed the most. Stay with me on this journey here in BookTube and AuthorTube at times as I continue to talk about some of the topics that are on my mind that are hopefully on your mind as well.